The reality is there's no one best electricity generation method for every place and every time. In the early days of electric power distribution, hydroelectric power plants were more common than thermoelectric power plants. Now, thermoelectric power plants are more common than hydroelectric power plants, even though many of those hydroelectric plants are still in operation. In the 1930s, technical advances in the design of thermoelectric plants made them more competitive in terms of cost. At the same time, difficulties in building hydroelectric plants made expanding the power source less appealing. Thermoelectric plants that relied on nuclear energy or burning fossil fuels could be built anywhere, unlike hydroelectric plants that are limited to locations next to sufficiently large or fast rivers. Furthermore, some of the some of the risks associated with certain types of thermoelectric power plants were not well known, and so they would have received higher scores on decision matrices of the times. The economics of power plants can be calculated in different ways. For example, geothermal plants often have a high initial cost for digging the deep wells, but low operating costs once they are in use. Nuclear plants may be judged as less economical when you consider life cycle costs, the storage of radioactive waste, and other complications that are difficult to account for. Fossil fuel plants are now viewed as less optimal when the long term costs of air pollution and greenhouse gases are considered. When fossil fuel plants first became popular, greenhouse gases were not an issue. And over time, as fossil fuel plants were used more and more, the, the air pollution generated by them decreased because technology advanced to contain much of that pollution. Now, options that generate less air pollution, such as wind, geothermal, and hydroelectric, have become more popular, but have other environmental costs. Criteria may be weighed differently in different places or times. For example, if a primary goal is to get as much electricity to as many people as possible, as fast as possible, well established technologies are appealing solutions. Technologies that require a lower initial investment of money or time are also appealing, but if environmental and sustainability concerns are more heavily weighted, different technologies are viewed as optimal power generation solutions. It is important to be careful about about people who advocate for one power source or oppose one particular power source because the conditions that favor different power sources change over time. So it is important for you to be informed about these and to really research the pros and cons of each power generation source before making decisions by a decision matrix about which are most favorable for your community.